From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
This is a WUFT News update. I'm Matthew Bell. In South Florida, it's the heartbreaking part of the Nicholas Cruz trial with impact statements by the relatives of shooting victims. Reporter Tony Pipitone shows us how emotional it is in court.
Luke Hoyer is my younger brother. Sorry.
There were tears on the witness stand. There were tears in the jury box.
Is resting in heaven.
And tears among lawyers at the defense table. But none, not a visible hint of remorse or sorrow, from the man responsible for this torrent of loss and grief. He took 15-year-old Luke Hoyer, his mother, Gina.
Now, I pray each night and ask God to tell him how much I miss and love him, and to give him a big hug and a kiss from me.
She spoke for so many mothers, fathers, grandparents, siblings.
It's excruciating agony. I'm heartbroken, and a piece of my heart is missing.
Her husband, Tom.
Luke is not a faceless target. He had a place in this world. His life had meaning, not only to me and my family, but to many others around us. When Luke died, something went missing in me, and I'll never get over that feeling.
Stories of uncelebrated graduations, weddings that will never be.
The truth is, not a day goes by where the constant image of Jamie walking down the aisle is not still a part of my daily imagination.
The lament of a final text message that did not end in, "I love you."
This was the last time I ever communicated with my beautiful, precious 14-year-old daughter. No actual words, just some texts about a friend in need. She never got to say goodbye.
And the loss of those no act of justice can bring back.
I miss her kisses. I miss our chats. I miss everything about her, from her head to her toes. I miss her heart. I miss her soul. I miss my girl.
Cruz pled guilty, but the penalty phase of the trial is needed so a jury can make a recommendation about whether his punishment should be the death penalty or life without parole. Orlando police are blaming the father of a family of 5 for killing everyone in the family. A wellness check uncovered the bodies of a middle-aged couple, their grown child, and 2 young girls. Neighbors say the family moved in from out of state a couple months ago, and they were concerned they hadn't seen anyone around for a few days. A St. Pete group is under investigation for potentially helping Russia influence U.S. elections. The FBI raided the Uhuru house after the indictment of a Russian citizen who provides money for political activity. The indictment describes an arrangement that goes back at least 7 years. On the national political scene, the latest primaries saw Kansas take a stand for abortion rights, and everyone is looking at the Republican results in terms of Donald Trump's influence. NBC's Chris Pallone reports from Washington.
Voters in Kansas delivering a major victory to abortion rights supporters, overwhelmingly rejecting an amendment which would remove abortion protections from the state constitution.
I'm just overjoyed. We did what Kansas needed us to do.
It's the first time abortion has been on the ballot since the Supreme Court struck down Roe v. Wade. The higher than normal turnout and scope of the win suggests the issue is motivating abortion rights supporters ahead of the midterm elections.
People do not want government in charge of pregnancy in this country. The Republican Party is on the wrong side of history, and I think they're going to pay the price this November.
Tuesday's primary results also suggest former President Donald Trump's sway on Republican voters remains strong even after this summer's January 6th committee revelations. Several candidates who have cast doubt on the legitimate results of the 2020 election are leading or won their races. In Arizona, NBC News projects Mr. Trump's preferred candidate, Blake Masters, winning the GOP Senate nomination. And in the Republican primary for governor, the former president's favored candidate, Carrie Lake, is ahead of her opponent.
We know how our election systems work, and they don't work well.
On the heels of testifying against Mr. Trump in the January 6th hearings, Arizona's Republican House Speaker is projected to lose his primary, while Republican Michigan Congressman Peter Meijer, who voted to impeach the former president, has already conceded to his Trump-backed opponent. Chris Pallone, NBC News, Washington.
2 sports notes before we go. The first fall practice is now underway for Gator football. The team reported for camp yesterday. The first game is exactly a month away on September 3rd when Florida hosts Utah. And Vin Scully, the voice of the LA Dodgers for more than 6 decades, has passed away at 94. The MLB commissioner released a statement including this tribute. "I am proud that Vin was synonymous with baseball because he embodied the very best of our national pastime. Scully is in the Baseball Hall of Fame, has a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom." That's our time for today on Facebook, but remember, your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org.